Hi, I'm Shane and welcome to Rockin the Planet. Thanks for joining me here on the TV show that dedicates itself to bringing live New Zealand music to your television screens every single week of the year. Now this week we will get to meet up with a man who really doesn't need any introduction at all. He's been entertaining New Zealand with his unique brand of Kiwi rock and roll since the early 70s. Tom Sharplin, along with his band of Cadillacs. We'll see them performing live at the CT Club, and we'll be chatting to Tom about his longevity in the rough and tumble world of showbiz here in New Zealand. I just want to say a big warm welcome to my special guest this evening, Mr. Tom Sharplin, the icon of New Zealand rock and roll. G'day, mate.
G'day, mate.
And his fantastic Cadillacs. We got Ray, we got Steve, and we got Bruce. They're all there. Say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Good on you, guys. And let's hear these guys live at the CT Club. Great stuff.
In my younger days, I used to do that rock and roll. Give me such a high, really supercharged soul. Oh, the weekend back morning with the rock and roll. Well, the words were kind of silly, but the music made you get up and jive. There was long tall Sally, used to make my body come alive. Yes, the days were back in 55. The people started to me with a bit of boogie woogie Jeremy. All over bed, over, he's a rock and rollin' to me. When I was 16, I used to do those rhythm and blues. Spread the word around.
Tom Sharplin, the Cadillacs, live at the CT Club. Now, Tom.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, eh?
That's great night.
Good time, yeah.
You behaved yourself too. That
I
was
did
a change,
too.
yeah.
Well, you know, I was too close to home.
Yeah, you were. Now, look, it's great having you here, mate. And I just want to go over the history of your incredible career. I mean, you started out way back in, we won't even go there, but a long time ago, nearly as long as me. And a whole big cloud of dust follows you around like it follows me. But you've had a fantastic career in the music business and industry in New Zealand. You started out in Tauranga.
In Tauranga, yep.
Is that where you come
That's
from?
where I come from.
Yeah.
And I got an art bursary to go to Auckland. So I moved up to Auckland to went to art school.
What age is this?
This was 17.
17.
Yeah. And so then I got a job with the Art the Skelton's Orchestra, the ballroom orchestra for a while.
Okay.
Yep. Because it was midweek work and I was shooting down to Tauranga on the weekends to play with my group called the Arms and Legs.
Okay.
And then we ended up staying in Auckland, getting a job at Surfside Ballroom and a few residencies. And from when I recorded Love Is a Beautiful Song, that waltz, my career sort of took off.
And then you moved on, and you I know that you had your own club.
Kangaroo Owls,
Not
yep.
many singers have their own club, believe me. And
That was wonderful.
You had your own
That-
place to
had
play.
our
It
own
must have been
place.
fantastic. Just
It
calling
was,
the
because we
shots
could
in your own club.
have the room comfortable for us.
Yeah, and you were the only band on all night most of the time. So
When we went away, we used to put another band in, but
Yeah.
no one
Made
would
sure they
come
weren't
to
as
see
good.
another band, so we'd lose. It'd cost me money every time we go away to earn some money.
Yeah.
A weekend
Yeah.
in Wellington or something, come back home and it would cost me money because
And
no
the doors
one
went
would
down.
come to the club. So that's why we.
yeah, so and you followed that, but rock and roll has been your forte ever since. You've been sort of, in a way, stylised. Everyone knows you as a rock and roll singer,
Yeah.
and I know you as others. You know, you sing other ballads.
Well,
like
I
you
think
say,
I'm just a singer, you know,
Yeah.
and the rock and roll songs are the sort of vehicle I use to sing with,
Yeah.
because they're songs that I like and have a good feeling with and affiliation with, you know, Beatles and all that sort of stuff is exciting music that it's fun, isn't it? You
Yeah,
know,
of course it is. It's fun.
Yeah.
But the thing is, mate, you had a rock and roll show in Wellington for a while.
Yeah.
A TV show
Yeah,
in
good
the
mo-
70s, was it?
Rock Around the Clock.
I was overseas at the
No,
time.
80s.
But it was the 80s, okay. I just got back.
Early
because I
80s.
wasn't up on everything that was going on, but I believe you did have a TV show, ran for a while.
I
very
did. We had
successful.
a lot of exposure,
And live.
and a lot of most of it was live.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun because we were performing something like 16 to 18 songs a week on TV.
Yeah, that's a
And you
lot.
couldn't believe that. And there was only about 3 channels.
Well, you're not getting that
everyone
here,
had to
I tell
see
you.
them. So that went on week after week, and it was.
Yeah, amazing. And these days you can't get on TV unless you're on Rockin' the Planet, of course.
Of course.
But your career's moved always in a strong direction, and from there you moved on from your rock and roll show in Wellington and everything else. And I worked with you when I came back in the 80s. We became very good friends, and we toured up and down the country. We had some laughs. I know what goes on tour
We got
stays
a couple
on
of books
tour.
worth there, haven't we?
Yeah, we what goes on tour stays on tour. But I like to get the nitty gritty. Is there anything that you can tell the folks out there, a funny story about you, not me?
Oh, well.
What's happened on tour?
I mean, I woke up once on tour and to find my artificial leg had been stolen during the night, and I found it. It was at the top of the flagpole outside the front of the hotel.
Well, I've got a funny story about that actually. Your artificial leg. You don't mind me ask you about
No, I
that
don't
in a
mind.
moment, but
No,
your
I'll have a
artificial
chat
leg.
about yours.
I was with you and we went to a hotel in Auckland, and Osabisa, the great band from England, they were here, and they're all black guys, and they're all there,
Funky
African
dudes, yeah.
outfits and big smocks and things, all colourful. They're standing there, and we got chatting to them, you and I.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, yeah, you're cool, you're a good dude, yeah. And they saw your shoes. You had a pair of zebra shoes on.
Yeah.
And I can't do it here because I can't kick my. Here, I'll do it. And you're standing there, and they said, "I like your shoes, man. I like your shoes." And he said, "Oh, you want to have a look?" And what he'd done, he'd unstrapped his leg where it fits onto the other part. Anyway, and he didn't tell them. Then he went, "You want to shoot my shoe?" And he went like that, and his leg shot off across the room. And if you've ever seen black men turn white, they all went, "Whoa!" They saw his leg fly across the room, and they all went, "You silly man, you silly man." And they didn't know what to do with themselves. I never forgot.
Oh, we've had a lot of fun, all right.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, they had your zebra shoes after that,
Yeah.
didn't they? And so, and how did you lose your leg? You don't mind me talking
No.
about that? I'm just curious.
No, it was in a raffle I never bought a ticket for. No, I hadn't.
You did have I remember on tour
Yeah,
with
when I
you,
was 6, I
you mentioned your father, what a great man he was.
Yeah.
And he came to your rescue.
Yeah, and I had it cut off in a tractor accident when I was 6.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things.
And it was
where
one of those tragic
It doesn't.
things
Yeah,
that-
it was one of those tragic things. But the way I was treated by my parents and things like that enabled me to carry on a normal life.
Yeah.
And realise it didn't make me any different than anybody else.
But that's what made me wonder about your father. He was just an amazing man. When you told me the story that he came down and found you, and he grabbed you, and he you really realised that.
Yeah.
Wow,
He was
Dad,
desperate.
what a good man.
Yeah.
And he took you to the hospital.
I remember
and saved you.
saying to my dad, "I'm going to die, aren't I, Dad?"
Yeah.
And he looked straight at me, and he's holding me in his arms,
Yeah.
and I'm bleeding from all over.
Yeah.
And he says, "No, you're not going to die." And I said, "You're just joking, aren't you, Dad?
Yeah.
You're just saying that, aren't you?"
And
but I'm
he-
really going to die, aren't I? And I was sort of excited about it. And well, because the adrenaline was pumping, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Wow, this is exciting.
Yeah.
This is damned exciting.
Yeah.
Getting your foot
This
cut
is
off."
really happening.
Yeah.
And you hadn't thought of the consequences. But anyway, you've survived. And I mean, it's amazing. You've got to be so proud of yourself.
I'm
Not
proud of
letting
all my
anyone else
friends,
and all the
mostly.
people that.
It's the life you live in. That
I've seen you jump off amplifiers up that high, stacks of amplifiers, and the leg broke.
yeah,
And he put his teeth through.
That's another story.
That was another story.
No, they were good days.
Tom, it's been great having you here, mate. I wish I could talk to you for another hour.
Pleasure, mate.
So much to talk about.
Pleasure.
But I've got to meet the rest of the guys in the band.
All right, so we're going to do the magic shuffle.
Yeah, the Magic Shuffle. And now we've got Mr. Ray Eade, permanent bass player.
That's me.
Next to Tom Sharplin. You've
Yep.
been with him for many, many years.
I have been, yeah.
You can clap my hand.
Oh,
shake my hand.
good to
whatever
see you
wanna
again,
do.
mate. Yeah, always is.
It's good to have you here, Ray.
God, broke my wrist.
Ray, I'm sorry about that.
That's all right,
I
I'll
always
do
beat
another
the
one.
guests up.
Yeah.
Now, Ray, you've been with Tom, what, for 30 years?
Yeah, at least.
At least,
Possibly slightly
possibly
more,
40.
Yeah. 19... Close, yes.
Yeah, he's not that old, is he?
1978, I think. No, not
1978. So
yeah.
that's when you first actually started working together.
I think it was, yeah.
And decided this is a union that's not going to be split up here because
Yep.
you have been that pumping bass sound behind Tom's shows for many a year. And you met, I think, down in Dunedin, somewhere
That's
like
right,
South
yeah,
Island.
yeah,
You were
yeah.
from Invercargill?
Yeah. Yep.
Tell me about those early days. You worked with a band down there.
A band called The Vision, which was one of the big bands in town at the time. We used to have a brass section, do a lot
Yeah.
of Chicago, which really taught me a lot.
Yeah.
You worked with them, eh?
I did. They were a
good
great band. Yeah, I loved them.
Yeah.
And you're just telling me off camera before that they're still alive.
Yeah, yeah.
And
They still
that's
have
good to know.
reunions. We still get together.
And we'll all say a good hello to them if they're down and watching, mate.
Yeah.
We love you.
See you soon.
The Vision. Yeah, they were a
Yeah,
good band.
they were.
Anyway, you came up here as MD for Tom.
Not originally, no, just as the bass player in a new lineup because the Rockets,
The
as Brisbane were
the
going to
Rockets.
leave, and I knew them more than I did Tom at the time, and so they said, "Oh, come and meet Tom, and we reckon you'd be the right guy." And so I said,
And also, you've written a couple of songs for him over
Yeah,
the years,
yeah.
and one we all know, "My Baby Loves to Boogie,"
"Yeah, good old rock and roll."
which
that
we're going to listen to in just a moment. But you wrote that when?
when Tom had the nightclub, we were playing the first set, and the people were coming in, so we decided, well, if we're going to play, sometimes to next to no one, let's do original stuff and see if it works out, we'll keep playing it. If it doesn't, we'll write another one, see if we can improve
Test
our
the
writing.
waters.
Yeah, yeah. And that was one I come out for. I thought of the saying, a drummer at the time. He didn't write one, so I said, oh, I'll have a go for you. And I thought, that's what Dave would say, my baby loves to boogie. So I sort of come up with that and thought, yeah, that's the one. Simple little...
I mean, that's got a life of its own now, that song. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
you
has,
guys do
it's
it whenever
good.
you get it. The dance floor's full. It's a great song. Shall we listen to that song, Ray? Do you mind?
That would be great.
Okay,
yeah,
let's go
I'd
and
love
listen to
that.
it.
Yeah, cool.
Tom Sharplin, The Cadillacs. My Baby Loves to Boogie.
Excellent.
My baby loves to boogie all night long. When she gets up in the morning, look, she puts her dancing shoes on. Spins to the left, spins to the right, everything is fine. I love to boogie, my baby, she's mine. My baby loves to boogie, my baby loves to boogie. My baby loves to boogie, boogie all night long. My baby loves to boogie, my baby loves to boogie, my baby loves to boogie, boogie all night long. Oh, she loves to dance, she moves around the floor. She's a crazy rockin' mama, I want more. No dancing shoes for me, honey, that's okay. My baby wanna boogie, boogie, boogie night and day. My baby loves to boogie, my baby loves to boogie, my baby loves to boogie, boogie all night. My baby loves to boogie, my baby loves to boogie. My baby loves to boogie, boogie all night.
My Baby Loves to Boogie, written by Cadillac Ray Eid. Out now. A reminder, if you love live music, you're all invited to join us at the CT Club at 27 Ohinerau Street in Remuera. We've been having a ball and you can be part of our studio audience while we film our live band of the week. Our next live band is by special request. I've had many inquiries from fans as to when I'm going to be singing on the show. So with my arm twisted, I am going to be performing as Shane and the Shads on Friday the 27th of June. I'll see you all at the CT Club. And another Cadillac we have on our hands. The lead man, the lead guitarist, Mr. Steve Hubbard.
Hi, Shane.
And those some of the fastest fingers that ever been living, I'd say. Sorry, mate, I've just ruined your
It's all right.
Good to have you here, mate.
Good to be here, Shane.
Now, Steve Hubbard, I first met you way back in 1981, 82, 81, wasn't it? How old were you then? You would have only been just a baby.
Yeah.
You know, like in your, well, not even in your
It's
teens.
beyond remembering, mate.
I can remember because you backed me and I was amazed at the versatility of your playing and everything. And I thought,
Well, when I met you, Murray Hancox was the player.
Murray, yeah.
And I was playing with Murray with Morris Greer at the time at Gillies.
Okay.
That's how that eventuated with.
Yeah, because Murray played keyboards for me that night.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
and he was also playing with Morris, and
Yeah.
then Peter Woods, who plays in our
Yeah,
band,
still
you
plays
know,
in your band.
He came in after Murray
Yeah.
went off to do something else, you know.
Yeah.
But before that, I was with Jimmy and the Jets, with Jimmy Hill, you know.
The wonderful Jimmy
yeah,
Hill,
and,
ex-Invader, Ray Columbus's band.
And we had all sorts of people in that band, you know. We had Stuart Pearce playing for a while.
Who's still playing.
We had and Neil Edwards was playing bass, and it was a great band, you know, and
Amazing.
great rock and roll band.
Great lineup.
And we got to meet all you guys, you know, because
just-
Tommy Adderley would be in 1 week, and we had a residency at the Foundry for
That's right.
for nearly 2 years, you know. So
Now the Foundry was down the bottom of town on
Yeah, it was.
Hobson Street. Great nightclub, was packed to the walls every night.
so we got to that was my beginning of my apprenticeship. My
Yeah.
apprenticeship is still happening. It's one that 45-year
You were just hanging
apprenticeship.
out
When's it
there.
going to finish? You know, it's a story, but
It'll always be like
it
that.
was a great, you know, from a guy from out west, you know,
Yeah.
been playing with his mates.
Plunged into
And
the
then, Jimmy sort of got hold of me and said, meet these guys, play for the, you know. And that was a great learning experience.
And you are playing up a storm, like I said. And
Thanks,
keep it
Shane,
up,
yeah.
mate. And I'm going to take you to a nightclub tonight. We're going to shoot downtown. And I might lose you again, but who knows? I hope you get home all right.
Can I take my wife?
Oh, dear. Oh, you got one of those, have you?
Cheers,
No,
mate.
good on you. Of course you can. Great pleasure having
Thank
you here,
you,
mate.
mate.
We're going to do the old shuffle now.
She was only 16, only 16, and I loved her so. She was too young to fall in love, and I was too young to know. We'd laugh and we'd sing and do funny things, oh, that made our hearts glow. She was too young to fall in love, and I was too young to know. So why did I give my heart so fast? It never will happen again. I was a mere child, 16. I've aged years since then. She was only 16, but I loved her so. She was too young to fall in love, and I was too young to know.
Now, calling all budding musicians, as well as professional musicians, if you desire to aspire to greatness in the music world, you need go no further than Music Planet. The friendly, helpful staff really know their music. All being multi-talented musicians themselves, they will help you get started no matter what your budget. New strings, new drum skins, pianos, guitars and a Vox amp, hundreds of musical instruments to choose from. With 9 friendly stores throughout New Zealand, go and see them, Music Planet.
She was only 16, only 16, with eyes that would glow. She was too young to fall in love, and I was too young to know.
And what do we got? The last but not least, Mr. Bruce French
Howdy,
from
Shane.
the Cadillacs. Good to see you again, mate. Now, you have had an extraordinary career, because when I first met you, you were a bass player. I'm talking way back when.
Way back, yeah.
And you had just taken up the sax. And you were still learning, really. And I was doing some demos, and you said, I play sax. I went, oh, I need you. You came in. You were playing fantastic. And you made a work of art out of my songs. Now,
Thank you.
what made you or inspired you to pick up the sax?
Good question.
Is it Charlie Parker or Dwayne Eddy's sax player, or
No, actually, I
one
was.
of these greats?
I met some people that were playing in the band, and they made their way around the country just playing in the band. That's all they did, and they became sort of some friends of mine, good friends of mine, and they said that next year they wanted to get a saxophone player, and I thought, oh, okay.
This is when you were playing bass still.
Yeah, and I sort of said, well, you know, like if you could I try out when the job comes available, And they said, yeah, and they gave me plenty of warning. And just around the corner from my place, there was a guy that taught saxophone, and his name was Wally Scott, and he was an awesome dude. So I went and got some lessons, tried out, got the job, and then off we went, travelling around
I have
New
to ask though,
Zealand,
you
playing
had
the
no
saxophone.
lessons prior to that. You just,
Well, actually, I did have a little bit of a head start
had
because I
cheated.
had a bit of a background in the brass band playing
oh,
the
okay,
cornet. Well,
caught in a brass band. So you
yeah,
really
so I
got
had sort
a
of
taste for the
little bit of a
brass.
taste, yeah. So I've been playing music since quite a
Yeah.
young age, really.
And then, so the bass was you're digressing. You're going the other
Yeah.
way when you got the bass.
Well, when I left sort of school, I wanted to play in a bit of a rock and roll band. So
As
the
we all
best
do,
thing I
yes.
could think of was, well, I'll go and get a bass guitar and sort of try and sort of teach myself and see how I get on. And so that's how that.
Yeah,
sort of
it's really
started.
messed up a lot of careers, hasn't it? We all want to play in a rock and roll band. That is the trouble.
Yeah, well, I've
We're
been-
all great scholars. We dumped the studies.
No one
We
wants a
get-
real job.
Yeah.
No one wants a real job.
I've been led astray ever since. Yeah.
Oh, you are, with Tom Sharplin, I tell you, you're being led astray, all right. Look, the other night I did a call. I said, play a instrumental at the club. And you guys turned around and went, oh, I'm not gonna do it. The Champs. Bam, 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 bam. Tequila.
Tequila.
And I'm telling you, it was fantastic. You listen to this.
Tequila.
Well, I reckon it's time for that Rockin' the Planet shuffle again. You guys are fit. Jeez, well, some of us. He didn't move, I noticed that, Mr. Marble. But wow, you guys. Anyway, look, I've just had a guitar brought over from Music Planet, our major sponsors. It's a Gibson Firebird, and I'd like you to give it a go. Steve, this is going into your hands because I want you to tell us what you think of it. It's got a nice little cutaway behind there, look, for fat tummies or anything like that, Steve. I'm not saying you,
No,
I
it's
didn't say
beautiful,
you,
beautiful
but it's a
finish.
beautiful version. It's made in America. It's the whole thing. We've got the amplifier, you're ready to rock. And I thought we've got a beautiful sax. Bruce, would you guys just do us the honour of playing a little track or something musical for us between the two of you, just guitar and the sax? And you can tell me about that sax because you are the expert these days.
Well, I must say, I'm
It's a
privileged
beautiful
to play
looking
this
sax.
today, and I'm actually liking this Stag sax.
Stag, is it?
It's called a Stag.
Now,
and
Stag.
and unbelievably priced, I think.
It is a crazy price. He wanted to put it down. I said, "Don't be silly. You're giving it away now." $699. That's going for $699. Over
a
a
lot
grand anytime.
It's a lot of saxophone. I've
and
been
there's a
very
lot of
impressed
sax
with
there.
this,
It's a
actually.
beautiful sax.
Very impressed.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to give it back.
No. Well, they all say that. They try and get away. We have to watch the doors. We've got security.
I'm definitely not giving
But
this.
I know you could play something beautiful. You guys, would you do us the honour?
I'll do something
Thanks,
like
guys. Steve Hubbard, Bruce French. Get your hands together for those guys. Steve Hubbard on the guitar and Bruce French on the saxophone. What sort of saxophone was that again?
This is a Stag.
A Stag, yeah. How could I forget that? The Stag.
Hey.
What we've got to talk about now, while we're here talking about Music Planet, have you got a set of strings for an acoustic? Have you got an acoustic guitar at home?
I've got a few acoustics.
You've got a few acoustic. I knew you would. And I've got these Elixir strings. Now these strings are a little bit more expensive than most. They're about $30 or so, and that's cheap for what they are. They last twice as long as any others. They are fantastic string, great resonance and everything. I use them, and everybody should use them. Elixir strings from the Music Planet. So those are sent over to you from Roger at the Planet. You haven't got any strings on your sax, unfortunately, but he said he might give you a reed or two for your sax. So, Bruce, been great, mate. Okay, all right, but use those, and they're on behalf of Roger. Anyway, what do you think of the guitar?
Right, this is a beauty. It's
It is a lovely guitar.
PAF, patent applied for pickups.
Yeah.
They've been going on Gibson guitars since the 1950s, and they're the deal.
You know your
They're
stuff.
big and fat,
Yes.
sort of sound, and beautiful rosewood.
A great rhythm guitar.
Oh, great! Yeah.
Great for rhythm, you know.
Yeah. Got
Yeah.
the twang, anything you need. You can go from a Telecaster type twang to that little jazzy
Yeah,
thing
nice
that
jazzy
me
thing
and Bruce
with
were playing. You got all the sounds in there, you know,
Yeah.
and beautiful,
Yeah, you certainly showed it off.
long neck. You know, it's got
Yeah.
a lot of frets. You know,
You're not
you're
going
to run out of
out of
frets
room.
here. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, full scale neck, beautiful, and here we've got Grover machine heads.
Yeah, the best.
Best machine
Yeah,
heads.
say the best, yeah.
So it's
Never going to go out of tune.
It's a class act, this one. Eh?
And it's got all these the volumes and tones and whatever
Yeah,
down
it's
there.
beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, and you pick up things. It's great, but it's a beautiful guitar. Yeah, as you say, we're all agreed. Yes.
Yes,
it's lovely.
Firebird, don't forget that. Gibson Firebird. And they're on sale at the Music Planet. You can just get down there, see the guys, they'll help you out. They always are so helpful.
No, joy to
honest.
play them.
Okay, you can't have it.
That's
the bad
I was getting
news.
used to that.
There you go. There's your plug. You can have the amp. Anyway, there it is. Beautiful guitar. Thanks, Steve. Really appreciate your sportsmanship. Let me take it away from you. And Tom Sharplin and the Cadillacs. Well, Tom's up the other end, as usual, but I'm sure I can reach it. Ow! Ooh, ooh. I'm only worried about the mics. Oh, grip. Nothing like a good grip, eh, Tom? I just want to say thank you to my special guest this evening, Mr. Tom Sharplin and the wonderful Cadillacs. Ray, Bruce, and Steve.
Always a pleasure.
Now let's close the show with more of the guys rocking out.